Your competitor just closed a deal in 17 days. You've been chasing the same cold list for 60. The difference isn't luck, it's lead type. Motivated seller leads typically cost between $15 and $75 per qualified contact, depending on the source and the specificity of the data. But here's what matters more than the upfront price: conversion rate. A quality motivated seller lead converts at roughly 15 to 30 deals per 100 leads with consistent follow-up. Cold lists convert at 3 to 5%. That means your $50 motivated seller lead costs you roughly $3,300 per close. Your $5 cold lead costs $1,000 to $1,667 per close. The math shifts dramatically once you account for closing rate, not just sticker price. Add in the timeline advantage. AI-qualified leads close 14 to 21 days from first contact versus 45 to 60 days for cold outreach, and you're recycling capital 3x faster. Your cost per lead matters. Your cost per deal, measured against your cycle time, is everything. A motivated seller isn't a type of person. It's a person in a type of situation. Life events now account for over 40% of all seller activity. Divorce, job relocation, probate, health crisis, empty nest. These are the moments when a homeowner stops thinking about their home and starts thinking about moving. Over 17 million U.S. homeowners are quietly considering a move in the next 18 months. More than 3.2 million properties will be inherited this year, and 73% of heirs plan to sell within 18 months. That's not demand you're creating. That's demand you're surfacing. The problem is that 87% of brokerages still rely on generic lead platforms that treat all prospects the same. They buy a list, dial it, and hope someone answers. They don't identify who's in motion. They don't trigger on life events. They don't prioritize by urgency. Goliath Data specializes in exactly that, identifying sellers who are actually moving because their life changed, not because interest rates dropped half a point. That's why motivated seller leads have become the fastest growing segment in real estate lead generation. The signal is getting sharper, the data is getting better, and the agents using it are leaving everyone else behind. An AI-qualified lead isn't magic. It's pattern matching at scale. Traditional lead sources, MLS, public records, tax rolls, give you addresses. They don't tell you who's ready to move. AI lead scoring works by identifying 3 overlapping signals. First, life event triggers: probate filings, divorce records, job changes, property tax spikes. The system scans public records daily and flags properties where something shifted. Second, property condition signals: years since last sale, days on market for comparable homes nearby, permit activity. A house that hasn't sold in 20 years in a neighborhood of 3-year cycles is statistically more likely to move when the owner realizes it. Third, intent signals from digital behavior: searches, ad clicks, inquiry patterns. When these 3 layers overlap, you get a lead that doesn't just fit a demographic profile. You get a lead that's actively considering a move right now. Goliath Data runs this exact mechanism on every property in its feed, ranking leads by urgency score rather than recency. AI-driven lead nurturing lifts conversion by roughly 40% over manual follow-up and cuts response time by about 60%. Compare that to static lists, where you're calling the same people at the same time as every other agent working the same platform. iSpeed to Leads Deal Predictor AI is trained on 20,000 plus closed real estate deals and 74,000 plus scored leads across 19 months of outcome tracking. The system has learned which signal combinations actually predict a close. When you use that intelligence, your close rate climbs, your cycle time shrinks, and your cost per deal drops. Step 1, choose your lead signal. Don't chase everything. Pick one high-intent category: probate, inherited property, FSBO, recent divorce, or recent job change in your market. Compass completed its $1.6 billion acquisition of Anywhere Real Estate in January 2026, bringing 340,000 agents onto one platform with voice-activated AI that drafts emails and creates follow-ups automatically. But you don't need enterprise software to start. County probate records are public. Ancestry.com tracks inherited properties. LinkedIn flags recent job changes. Pick the signal that fits your market and your strength. Step 2. Pull the raw data. If you choose probate, visit your county recorder's office online or use a probate record aggregator. If you choose inherited property, use Goliath Data's inherited property feed or cross-reference probate filings with property tax records. If you choose FSBO, search Zillow, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace for homes posted by owners. The raw data is public. You're just organizing it. Step 3. Score by urgency. Not all probate heirs are motivated to sell in 90 days. Not all divorced owners are in equity position. Run a second filter: property value, time since event, comparable sale prices nearby. A probate property in a neighborhood with 18-month median time on market is higher priority than one in a hot market. A recent inheritance worth $300K plus is higher priority than a property with equity questions. This is where AI accelerates manually, scoring 500 raw leads down to 50 qualified prospects in the time it takes to manually call 10. Step 4. Contact with the right message. Don't open with a pitch. Open with a signal. I noticed your property was transferred in probate last month. Most heirs in your situation are looking at their options. Would it make sense to talk for 10 minutes? You've shown you know something specific about them. You're not cold, your signal warm. Step 5. Track conversion by channel. After 30 days, measure how many of the 50 leads responded, how many moved to a call, how many moved to a showing, how many closed. This data tells you which signal is most valuable in your market. Double down on it. Kill the rest. That's how you transform a lead source from cost center to profit center. An investor in Texas spent the last 18 months testing inherited property leads. Here's what they did. Month 1, they pulled 200 recent probate transfers from county records. Cost 0, just time. They cross-referenced each against property value and comparable sales. That narrowed the 200 down to 73 properties worth $300K or higher in markets with 18-plus month median sales cycles. Month 2, they contacted 73 owners. No pitch. Just, I handle estates. Here's what a similar property in your neighborhood sold for last month. Want to talk options? 31 replied. 9 became clients. 2 closed in 60 days. Average deal, $485K. Profit, $24K each. Month 3 through 18, they repeated the process. They pulled 200 new probate transfers every 30 days. They built a system. By month 18, their pipeline had 47 closed deals, generating $1.1 million in gross profit. Their cost per lead was roughly $8, county records plus a CRM subscription. Their cost per close was $6,400, 47 deals, $300K investment. Their conversion rate was 15%, faster than cold lists, comparable to motivated seller platforms. But here's the insight. They didn't buy expensive leads. They identified one high-intent signal. They created a repeatable process, and they measured religiously. Every deal taught them something. After deal 15, they realized properties transferred in the first 30 days post-death were 2.7 times more likely to close than those transferred at 90 days. They adjusted their outreach timing. Closing rate jumped to 21%. This is what motivated seller ROI actually looks like. It's not about finding the cheapest leads. It's about finding the sharpest signal, building a system around it, and optimizing based on real outcomes. Mistake 1. Buying generic volume instead of niche signals. You purchase 1,000 leads from a platform that promises motivated sellers across 12 states. That's not motivated. That's whoever filled out a form on a website. You call 1,000 people and close 15 deals. Cost per close, $3,300. Your competitor sources 300 probate leads from county records, closes 45 deals. Cost per close, $667. The difference isn't hustle, it's signal clarity. Stop buying volume, start buying signals. Mistake 2, not tracking conversion by source. You import leads from 3 platforms, Zillow, Goliath Data, and a local wholesaler group. You call everyone, you close deals, but you don't measure which source converted at 20% and which at 5%, so you keep paying for all 3 equally. By month 6, you're wasting half your lead budget on junk. Start a spreadsheet. Source, number of leads, number of contacts, number of calls, number of closings. After 30 days, you have ROI by source. After 60 days, you have your priority ranking. Kill the bottom 2. Throw your entire budget at the winner. Mistake 3. expecting leads to close without follow-up. A motivated seller lead isn't a do not call list entry, it's a conversation starter. You reach out day 1, they don't answer. You reach out day 3, you email day 5. You call again day 10. After 5 touches, if they're not responding, they're either no longer motivated or not motivated yet. Move on. But most agents quit after the first call. They assume the lead is cold. So a 20% conversion rate becomes a 5% conversion rate. They blame the lead source. Really, they stop trying. Start a follow-up system. Goliath data users report that 60% of their deals come from touches 4 through 7, not touch 1. Mistake 4. Not measuring cycle time alongside conversion rate. You think a 10% conversion rate is good, but if every deal takes 120 days from lead to close, you're recycling capital twice a year. Your competitor runs the same 10% rate but closes in 30 days. They're moving capital 4 times a year. Over 12 months, they've funded 8 deal cycles. You've funded 3. Same conversion rate, 250% more revenue. Measure cycle time. Prioritize leads by time to close, not closing rate. AI-qualified leads close 14 to 21 days from first contact. That's not an accident. It's intentional filtering for sellers already in motion. Rule: the motivated seller that closes in 17 days is worth 3.5 times the generic lead that closes in 60 days, even if the price per lead is identical. Cycle time is profit. Everything else is noise.